My career has moved forward very quickly because of Battlestar Galactica, and then I think also Terminator and The Walking Dead, and a lot of the projects that I've taken on are things that are very good series and very good games, and it's been a great opportunity for me. Has it happened too fast? Maybe. It's very humbling for me to be on a list with John Williams and Jerry Goldsmith and Bernard Herrmann. These are the composers I grew up admiring. I hope that one day I will be able to be on that list. I don't know if I should be yet, you know, but I'm working at it. I'm gonna just keep working and keep writing and hope that I get to do what those guys did and have done, which is to work their whole life and always be making music. That's my ultimate goal. Well, yes, I am very young to be on a list like that, but at the same time, I started pursuing film music very seriously at such a young age. I mean, really, I was about 7 when I decided I want to write movie music, and I wrote my first film score was probably when I was about 14. So, and that was for a project of my own, not professional. But that means that by the time I was 24, I'd been trying this for more than 15 years. You know, so I didn't feel like a child. I didn't feel like it was new. I felt like this was something I'd been trying for a long time. You know, like I've been working at this a long time, and so, you know, I invested a lot of energy and a lot of effort to it. So yes, it felt like it was exciting and new, but also it was the culmination of a lot of hard work. My musical influences for film and TV are Elmer Bernstein, Jerry Goldsmith, Bernard Herrmann, Ennio Morricone, Alan Silvestri, Danny Elfman, probably in that group. I also listen to a lot of Pink Floyd and Queen. You can hear that in a lot of my rock and roll stuff. Yeah, I would say of the film composers, the ones that I routinely find myself being influenced by are Elmer and Jerry.
In the project, they have seen this guy is too young for this project.
Has that happened? I'm sure that it has. I mean, when I got started on Battlestar, I was very young, you know, 24 years old when I got started, and that's something that most TV series don't want to hire a 24-year-old kid who just graduated school. But I have found that most of the time people hire me because of the work that I do, and they've heard Battlestar, they've heard Terminator, they've heard The Walking Dead, and they want that sound, and nobody really cares that I'm young, once, you know, because I've shown that I can write music that people like to hear. My age is neither. It's just me. I think that a lot of composers are expected to be older, expected to have some gray hair, more than I have, and have experience. But at the same time, I found a lot of projects want someone with a new idea, a new energy, and someone who you know, hasn't had years and years and years of experience. So I found that it's been both. It really, like I said, I think people look to me because they like my music, and I don't think that my age has anything to do with it. In writing something that I know fans are listening to, I must be honest with you, I don't think about the fans at all. I think about me. And my bar is so high. It's higher than the fans. Fans are here, I'm up here. I'm never completely satisfied with what I write, and I'm always trying to make it better. I'm trying to think about, if I was a fan watching the show, what do I want to hear? That's what I try to write. And I have found that in trying to do that, I have found that most of the time the fans are pretty happy. But I find that I am my harshest critic, for sure. Tools?
Yeah.
Well, the equipment that I use, I write at the piano. I use various computer software programs to sequence. I record sketches. Sometimes I even record on my phone. If I get an idea, I'll sing something, hit record, and da 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 da. But most of the time it's sitting at the piano, and I have a screen where I watch the project, and that's the most important tool. Is the screen, is to see the imagery and get your ideas based on what you're seeing.
And a special place to compose?
A studio, yes. I have a studio in my house that is outside the house, and I've soundproofed the walls with special material so that when I close the doors, it's silent, and I can be creative. I can't say, because I think other fans have a better perspective on that than I do. If I were to guess, on the surface level, I think people are attracted to the exotic instruments, taiko drums, duduk, electric violin, the ethereal vocals, but there's a lot of scores out there that use all the same instruments. I think what it is about the Galactica score is the emotion and the way that the producers let me get to the heart of these characters. So it's not just that I'm using these exotic instruments, but it's not just that I'm using these exotic instruments, but it's that I am creating something emotional that the fans connect with, so that when they hear these melodies, they think about Adama and Rosalind and these other characters, and it really means something to them. And I have found that fans have written me from all over the world that play the music at weddings, at funerals. The music has become part of their lives. It's not just part of the show. So there's something, I think, very emotional about that makes the music appealing to people. In the beginning, I was given, in the beginning, even when I was working with composer Richard Gibbs on the miniseries, he and I were given very specific instructions about what not to use. Did not want to hear orchestra, did not want to hear big themes, wanted it very sparse and minimal. As I took over the show and the show began to grow, I was given a little more freedom to try some Irish influences, to bring in some Armenian influences with the duduk, to bring in some more African rhythms, and then that just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. In season 2, I was allowed to do more. In season 3, I was asked to incorporate a Bob Dylan song into the score, and I was given complete creative freedom to do whatever I wanted. So I thought, why not try heavy metal meets Indian meets Middle Eastern folk music, kind of Rage Against the Machine meets George Harrison, and they let me do it. They let me do this really weird thing, and then by season 4, I was given incredible freedom, and in fact, the writers would call me when they were writing scripts. I would write music for them while they're writing. I would be on set helping the actors play some pieces of music. I'm writing music while I'm on the set watching the actors. And then ultimately, in the final episode, the music is integrated into the story in a very powerful way. So in many ways, my job changed. I began just writing background score, and it's like the music became a character in the show itself. See, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Stu Phillips' music for the original Battlestar Galactica. In fact, many times I think that his theme is the reason that there is a new Battlestar Galactica. Because I think that theme is what's stuck in everyone's memory for decades and decades. We all remembered the music. The show was very good and very charming, and it was a lot of fun. But I don't know that decades later people would still love it if it wasn't for that theme song that Stu wrote. And so I was always thinking about this when I was writing Battlestar Galactica, because the music was so different. It was entirely different from Stu Phillips' music. And I wanted to acknowledge him because I wanted him personally to know how much I respected his music and how much the fans loved his music. And even though it wouldn't fit in the new show, there was still a place for it. So that's why in a few key moments throughout the series, I brought his music back in and incorporated it into my own so that he and all the fans would know that, that I really respect what he did in that series. If there is a style that is uniquely mine, I probably don't know what it is because I can't write in anything else. I think fans probably have a better perspective. I can say that many times people have said that they are Battlestar fans and they started watching Terminator and they go, oh, that sounds like Bear. And then they started watching The Walking Dead and they said, oh, that sounds like Bear, even though those projects sound very different. So maybe there is a sound that is my own. Maybe.
What are the musical paths you are exploring?
Well, I'm always trying to do something different. In Battlestar, I was doing something very orchestral, but in Battlestar, I was doing something that wasn't orchestral. I was doing something that was very ethnic and used world music sounds. In Human Target in the Cape, I'm obviously doing something that's more orchestral and grand and epic. And so I always like to change my path a little bit and find something that is, find something new. So right now I'm working on a film called Knights of Badassdom. And this music, I think, is going to be even a little different from everything else I've done. I think fans can look forward to hearing sort of an epic fantasy a la Lord of the Rings meets heavy metal a la Metallica or Sepultura. So I'm trying to find a way to get these two things together in a way that makes sense. But that's what I'm doing right now. I always like to do something a little different. Of the things that I've done, you mean, or?
No, from the past.
No, from the past.
From the past. What is my favorite?
You would like to have been.
Oh, that I would have liked to have done?
Yeah.
I can't say, because if there's a movie that I really like or a TV show that I really like, it already has good music. I wouldn't want to change it, you know. So it's almost impossible to say, you know. I don't think there's anything from the past because they're so good, you know. I'm thinking about things in the future. What's that? My favorite one?
Or two.
Two, I would have to say Elmer Bernstein and Jerry Goldsmith are probably the two that I don't think so. I mean, I think that, you know, like when I watch a great movie, it has a great score. I wouldn't change a note of Jerry Fielding's The Wild Bunch. It's perfect. I wouldn't change a note of Aliens by James Horner. Or you know, To Kill a Mockingbird by Elmer Bernstein. These scores are perfect. I would love one day to write a score that is maybe as good as that, but I certainly wouldn't change it, no. I had heard a lot about the Ubeda spirit from people that had been here and people that I know. But I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really appreciate it until I got here. And as soon as I set foot in the town and I saw the buildings and the people, I got a sense of how much they appreciate music here. And when I conducted the first concert, I was just blown away by how warm and enthusiastic the audience was, how much they appreciated what it is that composers do, because so much of the filmmaking process is recognized, but I feel that music is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. I mean, they feel it, but they don't know the composers by name, or they don't pay attention to how it's done. But the fans here in Ubeda, these are the people that are like me. I feel like I am amongst people like myself, because I collect soundtracks, and I have soundtracks in my car, and I listen to them all the time as well. So it's great to be here amongst people that are like-minded, that I feel the same as. So it's a really wonderful experience to be here, and I'm really enjoying it. Well, as I already said, I was thrilled that the audience response was there. These are pieces that are not necessarily the ones that I think everybody wants to hear. Like for Battlestar Galactica, we didn't do any big taikos, we didn't do any big action cues. It was the intimate, emotional pieces. And the audience really made me feel welcome. And I loved working with the Spanish musicians. I got to know each of them by name. I got to know each of them very well. I enjoyed rehearsing with them, and I really felt like we were making music, you know, and to be able to make music with Spanish musicians and share it with the people at Ubeda, that was an incredible experience, and I hope to do it again. When I finished scoring The Cape, the musicians in LA gave me an award recognizing that I have always championed live orchestral music. And I think it was also because I had done Human Target and Step Up 3D and Battlestar, and I always used live musicians on all these things. It was an incredible feeling because these are the musicians who I respect, and these are the musicians that have played for John Williams and Alan Silvestri and Danny Elfman, and the trumpet player playing The Cape played on Back to the Future, you know, one of the scores that I listened to growing up. And he's out there playing my music, and then they give me this award. There was nothing else like it, because, you know, these are the people that really know. They know if the music is good or not because they're out there playing it. And so it felt really good. It felt really good that they would recognize me for that. And of course, I love working with live musicians and will continue to do so. But so it wasn't necessary that they give me the award, but it was very nice. It was very nice.
Well, that's it.
Thank you, Ubeda. Thank you. Yes.